Hi, fourth grade. Today's math lesson is lesson 1210. You can find it in your Go Math book on page 483. It's called Mixed Measures, and our essential question is, how can you solve problems involving mixed measures? You might ask yourself, what's a mixed measure? Well, mixed measures are measurements that have different units. For example, maybe there's been two movies you would like to see. And movie A is 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 28 seconds long. And movie B's time is 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 41 seconds long. Well, hours, minutes, and seconds are mixed measures. Now, for this example, you might say, I can't choose which one I want to watch. I want to watch both movie A and movie B. Well, then you would need to add all those mixed measures together to find out how much total time you would spend watching both movies. Or you might want to find out, well, how much time is different between those two movies, movies A and movie B. Then you might have to subtract those different measures to find out how much difference there is in those two movies that you'd like to watch. So while you're working these problems, you're going to need to refer back to many of the different measurement relationships between units, such as we know 1 hour equals 60 minutes, 1 minute equals 60 seconds, 12 inches equal 1 foot, and so on. So it might be a good idea to have Gallon Man handy. We may have to regroup while we are working some of these problems as well. And regrouping is going to look a little bit different as we work these problems. So I think the best thing to do is to get started working some of the examples. Unlock the problem. Herman is building a picnic table for a new campground. The picnic table is 5 feet 10 inches long. How long is the picnic table in inches? So this is change a mixed measure. So we don't want 5 feet 10 inches. We want to know how many total inches that is. So the purple box asks a couple of important questions. Is the mixed measure greater than or less than 6 feet? Well, that's less than. And how many inches are in 1 foot? 1 foot equals 12 inches. So think of 5 feet 10 inches as 5 feet plus 10 inches. So we're going to write the feet as inches. So 5 feet, 1 foot equals 12 inches. So think 5 feet times 12 is 60 inches. So 60 inches, and the 10 inches stays 10 inches. So now we have 60 inches plus 10 inches, which is 70 inches. So the picnic table is 70 inches long. Example 1 is add mixed measures. So Herman built the picnic table in 2 days. The first day he worked for 3 hours and 45 minutes. The second day he worked for 2 hours and 10 minutes. How long did it take him to build the table together? So we're totaling them, which means we add. So step 1, we're going to add the minutes. So you see we have it written as 3 hours, 45 minutes plus 2 hours and 10 minutes. Add the minutes, 45 plus 10, 55 minutes. Add the hours, 3 hours plus 2 hours, 5 hours. So you have to keep them separate when you add. So it took Herman 5 hours and 55 minutes to build the table. Now, what if Herman worked an extra 5 minutes on the picnic table? How long would he have worked on the table then? Well, 5 hours, 55 minutes, plus 5 more minutes. We're going to add the minutes first. We get 60 minutes. And 5 hours stays 5 hours. Now, take a look at 60 minutes. 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. So we wouldn't write it as 5 hours and 60 minutes. We would write it as 5 hours plus 1 hour, which equals 6 hours. So whenever you find yourself being able to convert to a different measure, then go ahead and do that, please. Let's go ahead and turn to page 484. Example 2 is subtract mixed measures. So it looks like we're going to get into some regrouping for this problem, this example. So Alicia is building a fence around the picnic area. She has a pole that is 6 feet 6 inches long. She cuts off 1 foot 7 inches from one end. How long is the pole now? So when you're cutting off, you're taking away, so you will be subtracting. So we need to set up our problem first. So the 6 feet 6 inches, and she's cutting off or subtracting 1 foot 7 inch. So step 1, you subtract the inches first. You subtract the smaller unit first. So here's where we get into regrouping that looks a little different. So 6 inches minus 7 inches. We have to think 7 inches is greater than 6 inches, so you need to regroup to subtract. But it's not like you do with whole numbers. You don't say, all right, I'm going to regroup, this becomes 5, and bring 1 over, because feet and inches are mixed measures. So we have to think of this as taking a foot and regrouping it, when you do that, in inches. So 1 foot equals 12 inches. So that's what we're going to regroup over. So 6 foot 6 inches equals 5 foot 6 inches plus 12 inches. So 6 inches plus 12 inches is 18 inches. So when you're regrouping, you regroup, becomes 5 feet. You regroup 1 foot as 12 inches. So you bring the 12 inches plus the 6 inches, which is 18 inches. So now we have enough inches to subtract. So 18 inches minus 7 inches is 11 inches. Now we subtract the feet. So we had the 18 inches minus the 7 inches, which is 11. 5 minus 1, which is 4. So the pole is now 4 feet, 11 inches long. I think that's pretty cool. But be very careful. Remember the error alert. Be sure to check that you are regrouping correctly. There are 12 inches in 1 foot. So let's do the try this. 3 pounds, 5 ounces, minus 1 pound, 2 ounces. So I would rewrite this vertically. 3 pounds, 5 ounces, minus 1 pound, 2 ounces. So again, subtract the smaller unit. 5 minus 2, we can do that. And 3 minus 1, 2 pounds. So 2 pounds, 3 ounces, no regrouping necessary. So let's move on to the share and show. A truck is carrying 2 tons, 500 pounds of steel. How many pounds of steel is the truck carrying? So we need to convert the tons to pounds. So think of 2 tons, 500 pounds as 2 tons plus 500 pounds. And then you write the tons as pounds. So if you think about a relationship, 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. So when you do that, 2 tons would be 2 tons times 2,000, which would be 4,000 pounds. 500 pounds stays 500 pounds. So now we can add pounds to pounds. 4,000 pounds plus 500 pounds is 4,500 pounds. So the truck is carrying 4,500 pounds of steel. Moving to page 485, number 2. Rewrite each measure in the given unit. So 1 yard, 2 feet. They just want to write it in feet. So we have to think about the relationship between feet and yards. So if you remember, 1 yard equals 3 feet. That's the important measurement relationship to remember for number 2. So you replace the yard with 3 feet. So now you have 3 feet plus 2 feet, which is 5 feet. So keep your measurement relationships handy at this time, because we're going to need them. So let's take a look at number 3, 3 pints and 1 cup. So now we have to think about the relationship between pints and cups, because we just want to write in the given unit of cups. So think back to Gallon Man. 1 pint equals 2 cups. So if we have 3 pints plus 1 cup, that's now going to be 2 times 3, 6 cups, plus 1 cup, which will give you a total of 7 cups. Now we'll go to number 4. We have 3 weeks plus 1 day, and we only want to write that in days. So we have to think to ourselves, 1 week equals 7 days. So now we'll have 3 times 7, 21 days, plus the 1 day that's already there. 21 plus 1 is 22 days. Now, we're going to move on to 5, 6, and 7. Add or subtract, so be careful. I would circle the sign to make sure you do the correct add or subtract. So looking at number 5, we have ounces and pounds, and ounces are smaller, so we're going to add the ounces first. So 4 ounces plus 6 ounces, 10 ounces. We can't make any regrouping here because it takes 16 ounces to make a pound, so that's just going to stay 10 ounces. And the 2 pounds plus the 1 pound equals 3 pounds. So that's just straightforward adding, 3 pounds, 10 ounces. Now over here, we get into a little bit of a situation, because 4 quarts minus 5 quarts, that can't happen. So now this is the regrouping. So we have to think about how many quarts in a gallon. So think back to Gallon Man, or look at Gallon Man. 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. So we're going to take and regroup, because we can't do 4 minus 5. And this is going to become 2 gallons. But remember, when we bring a gallon over, we're not going to bring it over in a gallon. We're going to bring it over in 4 quarts. So 1 gallon is 4 quarts. So we add the 4 quarts to the 4 quarts now, because we regrouped, and we have 8 quarts. So now we have 8 quarts minus 5 quarts, which we can do, which is 3 quarts. And the 2 minus 1, which is 1 gallon. So regrouping, you have to remember it becomes quarts. So 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. Now you have the 4 quarts that are already there, plus the 4 quarts that you regrouped, 8 quarts. Now we can do 8 minus 5, which is, whoops, doesn't look like a 3, I'll fix it. 3 quarts, and 2 minus 1 gallon, which is 1 gallon. Number 7, now we're subtracting. 20 minutes minus 15 minutes, which we can do. We do the smaller first, so 5 minutes. And 5 minus 3, which is 2. 2 hours, 5 minutes. Now on your own, I'm going to give you some time to work on the on your own. So in 8, 9, and 10, you rewrite each measure in the given unit. So you're going to write it all in minutes, all in pints, all in inches. Then 11, 12, and 13, you add or subtract, circle the sign so you know which to do. And then if you could work just those problems. And then I will give you some time to do that, and I will give you my feedback in a few minutes. All right, you might not be finished, but I'm going to go ahead and get started on my feedback here. So 1 hour, 15 minutes. We only want it in minutes, so we have to think about how many minutes are in an hour. 60 minutes plus the 15 minutes that are already there. 60 plus 15, 75 minutes. Quarts and pints. So we only want to write it in pints, so we have to think about how many pints in a quart. Well, 1 quart equals 2 pints. So 2 times 4 quarts equals 8 pints, plus the 2 pints that are already there. 8 plus 2, 10 pints. Number 10. 10 feet, 10 inches. We only want to write the answer in inches. So 1 foot equals 12 inches. So 12 times 10 would be 120 inches, plus the 10 inches that are already there, which would be 120 plus 10, which is 130 inches. Number 11 is subtraction. You start with the pounds first. 300 pounds minus 300 pounds, we don't have to write anything because that's 0. And then 2 tons minus 1 ton, which is 1 ton. Number 12, we're adding. So we're going to add the cups first. 8 plus 9, 17. Now we're going to do something different here because there's 16 cups in a gallon. So we are going to make our answer different after we finish. 10 gallons plus 8 gallons, 18 gallons. We can regroup 16 cups because 16 cups in 1 gallon. So we can say, all right, I'm going to take those 16 cups away and I'm going to bring them over here to make a gallon. So I'm going to have the 18 gallons plus the 1 gallon that I regrouped, which is 19 gallons, and I'll still have 1 cup left. Okay, because I don't want to leave this in a measurement if I know that I can regroup. So I know 16 cups are in a gallon, so I'm going to take away those 16 cups and make them be a gallon. 18 gallons plus 1 gallon is 19 gallons, and you still have 1 cup left. And number 13, we're subtracting, and we're going to have to regroup because 6 minus 12, well, can't do it. So we have to think about how many ounces in a pound. So 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So we're going to regroup because we need more ounces. So we're going to take a pound. That becomes 6 pounds. And 1 pound is 16 ounces. So the 16 ounces plus the 6 that's already there is 22 ounces. So then now we can subtract 22 ounces minus 12 ounces, which is 10 ounces. 6 minus 2, which is 4 pounds. 4 pounds, 10 ounces. All right, homework will be odds this time. And homework page is 239 and 240. So we're going to do the odds. 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 1, and then all of the spiral review. Please submit that to Seesaw or by email. Thank you.